Jen for that message. And as with all of our power-ups, this will be recorded and will be available under the resources tab. So if you missed something, don't worry about it. You can always view it later. Ooh, we got a Scarecrow Alley as well, Jen. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I love all the fun stuff that people do during the fall time period.
Oh yeah, so many different things you can do, especially in different parts of the country.
Trunk or treats are becoming so much more popular. I don't know how many of you were just at the NRPA, but I went myself, and my brother's actually stationed out in Texas, so I went to go visit him after. And I am very grateful to the park and rec departments near him that do trunk or treats, because that is the only form of trick or treating that they get down there. In a lot of places, houses are very far apart, or you're in a complex. So it's really nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it too at our local malls as well, where they'll allow agencies to set up in the malls and do basically a trunk or treat, but in a mall. I guess shop and treat, maybe?
I mean, that would definitely get kids running around the mall. I saw Barktober. What one's that?
Yeah, I just seen that too from Mandeville, Louisiana. Family costume contest with their dogs. Oh, that sounds awesome. Both Jen and I are big dog people, so that definitely caught our attention.
Okay, I would win. I would win. The only person I would lose to is the person who has a chainmail costume for their cat. They handmade, custom sized for that particular cat, but I would totally place number one if they're not there.
I kind of want to see this chainmail costume now, Jen.
It was the coolest thing, and it was at the Renaissance Fair.
Oh, that's awesome. Hot dog roast. That sounds fun too.
Ming lost in her princess dress with Brian in his knight costume to the cat, and I fully support that decision.
There you go. All right, looks like we're starting to have everybody in the room. Are you ready to get going, Jen?
I am.
All righty. Well, we're going to go ahead and we are going to start. So first of all, thank you everybody for joining us today. We're really excited about this power-up. We have a lot of cool things to show you today. Please make sure that you mute your microphone and turn off your camera for recording purposes. We would greatly appreciate that. Throughout the presentation today, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat here. I will get those questions and we will either answer them in the chat or give them to Jen when we have a second. Also, if you do not do so already, please go ahead and give us a follow on social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, or X now, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can see lots of great things on there, such as Tips and Tricks Tuesday. All right, and the reason we're all here is to talk about Waitlist today. So we have named this the I Had to Wait List 300 Years. So in this presentation today, we're going to be talking about, obviously, Waitlist, but we're also going to touch on private registration, community filters, and a really cool household adjustment. I am Andrew, and I will be the moderator today, as well as your DeLorean mechanic. And Jen is our time lord or presenter today. So you'll be hearing quite a bit from us. And if you have any other questions on something we do not get a chance to cover today, that is perfectly okay. Please go ahead and check out our support center for step-by-step guides or contact our amazing support team at support@recdesk.com or 800-325-7391, and we'll be happy to help you with all your questions there. With that being said, Jen, are you ready?
I am. Let me go ahead and take over the share.
The screen is all yours.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining me today. So we're going to start with the big new feature that I know a lot of you have been waiting for. And a lot of this has to do with the wait list. You guys have asked and we've listened. Now, I'm going to use this program as my example and tell you a couple of really cool things. The waitlist is going to do a lot of new things. Some we've already released, but I'm going to go over it here in case you may have missed it. They can no longer duplicate themselves on the wait list one time, and that's it. We also are now going to judge by demographic information. So if there is an age restriction or a gender restriction for the program, it is going to be enforced. Grade is not an enforceable demographic at this time, but pay attention to announcements. So when you are putting people on from the wait list, it's going to look a little bit different now. So you'll see if I add somebody to a wait list and they're already there, I'm going to get that warning message. If I don't meet one of the demographics, it's going to tell me. So you don't have to worry anymore about parents signing themselves up for those kid programs, as long as you remember to set those age restrictions. And then it'll tell them when they've been successfully added to the wait list. Now, there's some other cool pieces to this that I'm going to show you on the community site, because there's going to be some changes along the way as well that'll happen. On their profile, community members will be able to view whether they are on a wait list and what they're on a wait list for. So you see right here, wait list, I have everyone in my household and what they're on the wait list for. And I can also remove them from a wait list, which is a great resource for those of you who have parents that just throw themselves onto every wait list, hoping to get their kid into some type of summer camp. They can remove themselves when they happen to get them into somewhere so that they take one less spot in that wait list period. Now, here are the big changes for that wait list when it comes to your end. And these are already accessible for those of you who have active wait lists. So just so you know, you're going to see this already active in your system. The waitlist list looks a little bit different. We've got these really cool new filters that we added in, along with a waitlist status. There's a reason for this. We now have an actions button that does a lot more than before. You can put details. So if you needed to put a note in here, you know, something where you need to put them on hold for a reason, you can put a note. This note's going to show only to your staff, but it's something very resourceful for you to be able to use when you need it. You're also going to be able to still register them in-house if you need to push through that registration. You can approve them for online registration as well. Now, this is super cool. If they have the ability to log in themselves, you can send them a notification. That'll be an email that'll tell them they've been approved from the wait list. So for those of you who have been trying to do some form of private registration, and I like the example of like travel sports, because you have to try out for the team to make the team. If you have everyone go put themselves on a wait list for that team, as soon as they are approved by the coach saying, yep, they're definitely going to be on the team, you can do this process and send them that approval email. That allows them from home. Now they're going to get an email for it, but I want to show you it here. Oh, I didn't register somebody in my household. I apologize. Hang on. Let's prove somebody who's in my house.
No worries. And while Jen is working on that, just a reminder, if you guys have any questions on anything we're doing, please go ahead and type that in the chat. And when we get a break, we'll be sure to ask Jen, or we can either answer it directly in the chat for you guys.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you all what the email looks like as well, but I want to show you this as this too. When they are logged in, if they go to the waitlist area and they've been approved, they're going to see what they've been approved for, the day and time they have approval till. Now the system defaults to 24 hours. If you would like a longer, shorter time period, all you need to do is tell us. Please email us at support@recdesk.com and we can update that. The same goes for verbiage for that email. If you need specific verbiage added in, send the copy of the email to yourself and send us what you'd like it to say with the additional verbiage added in so that we can make that update for you. Now, I'm going to pause for a moment. Sorry about that.
Yeah. And while Jen is doing that, the emails you're talking about, they can go directly to support@recdesk.com. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. So if you need to reference that later, it is there for you.
The first email has definitely gotten come through. Hang on one moment, because my email has been a bit delayed today. So I'm just waiting for the second one to come in because they will get an email when they put themselves on a wait list now. I know that was something some of you had requested. So they will get that email that will come through.
Great reminder that they are on that wait list. Hey, Jen, got a question for you while we're waiting on that email to come through.
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody sign up on the wait list multiple times?
They cannot anymore. They used to be able to. However, we did take away that ability. They are no longer able to register or sign themselves up for a wait list multiple times. And just so everyone is aware, because my email is being a little on the slow side, I just pulled open an older email. So it just has a different member's name, but they're going to receive this, that person has been approved, and it's going to give them steps so that they know what to do in order to ensure they completely go through that process to sign up. And it'll send them a link to be able to log in quickly and quickly get to the community page. And then they'll be able to register. So the fees, this is a point I want to just pause at as a fun reminder. This one update we did add in that some of you may not be aware of or may not have realized was released is for community members. It is automatically recognizing residency for fees, so they don't have to do the drop down to choose resident, non-resident. It is going to automatically pull it from their profile. This is not true for memberships. It's only for residency. But as you can also see how I cannot change which member of my household is being signed up for this program? This is that safety step that we added in. It's to ensure that only the person that you are approving from that wait list is being approved. And that allows them to fill out flex forms, anything else you might have, sign off on any waivers, and make sure you're getting that full payment right away. Now, do we have any questions about the new waitlist feature?
Yes, we do, Jen. A couple of questions for you here. The registration time window, can that be customized? The 24 hours there?
Absolutely. We may have some recommendations for you. It might not be good to, make it too many days, but if you need it changed, maybe you want to give them 72 hours or even longer than that. All you need to do is send us an email. Please know that type of an update, you can call us and tell us you'd like it. We will require you to send us an email just so we have a record of when you requested that update be made, so that if anything happened beforehand versus after, we have something to track along with it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Next question I have is, what about coaches, volunteers, and instructors? Can they go ahead and register somebody from the waitlist?
At this time, coaches, volunteers, and instructors still have their own login. So they do have access to contact people on the wait list, but they do not have the ability to remove people from the wait list.
Thank you, Jen. Next question is, can the community see what number they're on for the wait list? The kind of people are in front of them.
So there's a yes and a no factor here, and I'm going to be very clear about this. The only time that they're going to see it is when they click the initial wait list and go to add themselves. And if you give me one moment to just remove the age range real fast, I can show you that as I ran out of adults in my household. So only during this time period, it says that there are a certain number of people that are on the wait list for this program. This is the only place they're going to see it. They're not going to see it when they go to their profile and look at their wait list here. It's not going to show them a status. It only shows them what number order during that time period they may have clicked on the wait list button. And keep in mind, there are going to be some people who will pay attention to that, and then others that they're never even going to notice that it shows a number there.
That is very true. Just depends on how observant that person is. All right, Jen, we are getting quite a few questions on the time they can sign up for. So that 24 hours and that email message, that is going to be global for all programs. You cannot do that based on individual programs to adjust the time for that.
Correct. That is a global setting. The email is a global email. It does automatically pull in the program name and the start date for the program, but that's all that is going to be super unique about this. But if you'd like additional verbiage to be added in that's more stock language, that's all we need to know.
Yeah, thank you. And then these emails, they will go to the primary email addresses only. Is that correct, Jen?
For the wait list?
Yes.
By primary, I'm going to assume you mean the members signing up. It will also send notifications for head of households. But like if a kid happens to have a different email on their house than their head of household, maybe something like a divorce situation, it will contact both.
Thank you, Jen. If the time limit runs out, so if that 24 hours or whatever it gets adjusted to runs out, can they resend them or re-add them?
Absolutely. I will make everyone laugh and tell you that I did that to myself during training. You're going to see this remove online approval. You just do that and then remove online approval and then give it back to them. That's really all it is. And it sounds really silly to say that, but it's just one of those, you just remove it and then add it back in, and it's going to restart the 24 hours when you resend it.
And then do they get notified if they miss that 24-hour window?
At this time, it does not do a secondary notification that, hey, you forgot this piece. It's just going to do the initial email.
That sounds good. And then if somebody does let that expire, do they remain on the wait list, or does the system automatically boot them off the wait list?
Yeah, the system will kind of keep them living here. It'll essentially time out. The status will change to timed out or something. I forget the exact phrasing, but it's still going, their name will still be on this list. They just won't be in a status that they can do any next steps without access from without your staff.
Yep, they'll be in an expired status at that point. Great.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jen. And that does it right now for our questions on the wait list. But if you guys think of any while we go over the next few topics here, please go ahead and post them in the chat and we can come back to them. So Jen, we are ready when you are for the next exciting feature.
All right, everyone. So there's going to be two, but because I'm on the director end, I'm going to start here real fast and use my young adult as my example. Many of you had been requesting the ability for when somebody turns 18, 19 in some states. I know that some states, that's when they become legal adults. You guys want to be able to move them into their own household, separations, divorces, things like that. There's a whole bunch of reasons that you've asked to be able to split somebody into their own household. Previously, there were a lot of steps. Now, all you need to do is go to that one person's profile and scroll all the way to the bottom and hit move member to different household. Then we have these two options, move to existing and move to new own. Existing is still great for, when a parent makes their kid a profile because they forgot their own login and to just add the kid to their own profile. You can just combine them all together. Or when they need to be by themselves, the new own household. It'll double check that this is what you want to do. And there you go. The history will move over. Any payments, invoices, all of that will move over with that profile as well. Are there any questions about the move to your own household? I know it's a pretty simple one, but I figured I'd ask before I go over the last bit of fun features that got added in.
No, Jen, there's no question on that. Like I said, pretty simple. I'm sure it'll be helpful for a lot of agencies. We can continue on.
All right, so the last bit is completely community facing. However, I know for some of you, these were big time requests by members of your public or maybe even board members. Those of you who have used redirects on our site, you're going to be hearing that phrase be used again here because we added some awesome new program filters. They're going to be able to filter by programs based on when they are running. And please know all of these filters are things that we can create specific URLs for. So if you wanted to have like a specific URL that you send out in a newsletter that's all your upcoming programs, just let us know and we can get that for you. We also added in registrant age. So if I wanted to look for programs that my 5-year-old can participate in, I can type in 5 and I'm going to see the programs that that child is old enough to participate in. And then days of the week. So if I wanted to see all the programs on Sunday, because that's my day off, I can see my Sunday programs. Now I used an example here for 18 plus. If you guys needed like another tab that broke down specific groupings, whether it's age, date, day of the week, thing, or specific program types or subtypes, or combinations, let us know. We can create those specific links to have those filters preemptively occur when they go to click on it. And it doesn't have to be a top tab. For those of you who have used who have asked for some extra shortcut buttons, we can add shortcut buttons as well. And that's just going to go to a very specific link. Now, I know we kind of went through these a bit quickly, but they're pretty awesome new features that we know so many of you have been asking for a while now, and we wanted to just show everybody all at once so that any questions or anything that you guys had ideas to use it for, you guys could bounce off one another.
Yeah, thank you, Jen. We do have a couple of questions going back to the waitlist, though, if you're ready to talk about that.
I am.
All righty. The first question is, how does the new waitlist features affect flex registration type programs?
So right now, the new waitlist features won't really be super accessible for your flex registration programs, mainly because your entire flex registration would have to become full for all dates before a waitlist begins. So you may not like this type of workflow due to that need of having all the dates fill up ahead of time. We are recommending that this be more for your regular programming than for flex registration. We do have a phase 2 of this that will be released in the future that will be better for the flex registrations in particular. So if your group has a need for something like that and you use flex registrations, please reach out to us so we can make sure that we get it built exactly how you're looking. With that,
Yeah.
as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. And yes, this is a great example of how enhancements come to be and when they come to fruition. So we're always excited to be able to do that. Another question we have for you, Jen, is what is your recommended best practice when they are really concerned about the cap for maximum people on a program and they want to use these new waitlist features?
If you are very particular about the maximum number of people in a program, but you want to use waitlist, here's the biggest thing. You're going to need to shut off the ability for anybody to get on the waitlist. So you do need to hit edit. And if you put the enrollment end date in the past, that will prevent anybody new from joining the waitlist. That means that you can have the maximum increase to whatever the true maximum is and really be focused on not going over your maximum enrollment, because this feature will allow them to go over the maximum number of people who have registered, as it's intended to help with that need of removing people from a wait list even after a program's full. I know some of you have been able to have awesome setups where, you know, we have 15 people on the wait list. We're able to get another instructor. We're going to pull them all off. That type of situation, this would take care of.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. And then we've had a couple people that have not been able to stick around the entire time. Would you mind showing the resources tab and where they can find this later on?
Of course, and we'll go over a couple of cool reminders in the resource tab, because if some of you are newer to RecDesk and your department's been with us for a while, you may not be aware of this. If you click that green resource, we have training set up here. So if you get somebody who's new working for the front desk, instead of you guys having to do training, unless you would like to, of course, we have some awesome training videos for them. We also have an area for RecDesk Builder. Now, this is broken up into two pieces, because RecDesk Builder, if you guys get a new director or a new program manager or somebody who's going to help you build in RecDesk, have them sign up for this. It's going to take them through all of that basic training that some of you may still remember. And allow them the ability to do that basic training. And then we still meet with them, but it becomes much more focused about your needs and not the basic build. All of our previous PowerUp videos, though, start getting posted right here. We try to get them in either by same day, by 5 o'clock if I can, Eastern, or first thing in the morning the next morning. It'll be here under PowerUp videos. And you'll also be able to find it on our YouTube channel. You can also get the latest on any release notes right here. Sometimes if you want to click on there just to see if we have released things, we do little mini updates that don't justify this big of a meeting, but they might be something that you were looking for that you didn't know how to ask, and they might be corrected. Please note too, we've got our helpful workflows that are also available. Quick little videos for workflows that some of you have asked for frequently. And our support center is something that I always like going over. You can ask a bunch of questions, be able to filter through to see how to build and do things. But if you want to contact us, you can also click on the submit a request right here. So if you forget our support@recdesk.com email, if you go to our support center and submit something here, it goes to the same location and we can get to you very quickly. And I think that goes over all the big important areas.
Yeah, got another question for you, Jen, on waitlists.
Yes.
What would happen if, let's say, you had a waitlist, you had one spot available, and you had 5 people on that waitlist? What would happen if you gave them all a registration link?
If you technically only have one spot and you send 5 people registration, all 5 will be able to override and register. That maximum is not being considered for the people that you are taking off of the wait list. We did that with, again, we've done that with intent so that when you have like 15 people, your class is full at 15. If you have 2 people on the wait list and you want to pull them off and go over your original maximum, you can, but still have that 15 value remain so that when you copy the program for the next season or next year, it's already there.
Thank you, Jen. At this time, doesn't really look like we have any other questions, but we were hanging around here in case you guys do have any questions. Feel free to go ahead and post them in the chat. I will either respond to them or we can bring it up for the entire group as well.
Absolutely. Just so everyone knows, I cannot see the chat at all while I'm presenting.
We're all caught up at the minute, Jen.
Awesome.
So If you guys have any questions, anything you're thinking about asking on the wait list, the moving to individual households, the new community filters, please go ahead and put it in the chat, because if you're thinking it, there's a good chance somebody else is as well. And we would love to point that out. Jen, would you mind showing one more time on the resources tab how you access those trainings, those buttons you're showing there?
Of course, when you click on the resource button, if you want the front desk user, so if you're getting somebody new and all they're going to be doing is registering people for programs, these first 2 videos are probably going to be the best so that they can help add accounts if needed and have a nice, oh, hang on. Let's even show them how short it is. We have a nice little 12 minutes in total video to go over the whole registration process and what they're going to need to know. And that video is even going to go into custom questions and how to fill those out, why they might get certain messages that pop up, making sure that they complete flex forms, and how to take different types of payments. For the builder, this one is something you will need to sign up for as well. This one, we're just asking for your information more out of curiosity. But this other one does have a pause point. It will ask you to sign up, and then we just need to give you permission.
Thank you, Jen. And for those of you that may not be seeing the resources button, it's all the way on the far right of the screen. So it is way over there, especially if you have a bigger monitor. It can be kind of hidden. So you just want to make sure you go all the way to the far right of the screen while you're on the Directo mode.
Sometimes your browser can also play a factor. So if you're using Edge or something like that and you don't see it, try switching over to Chrome or Firefox.
Great idea, Jen.
Edge just has super interesting security settings that sometimes interfere with weird parts of our system. So that's the reason I bring it up.
Yep. All righty. I am not seeing any other questions at the moment. So just wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. We're really excited about these new features. Hope you are too. Hope they can make your life a little bit easier for you and all the busyness that recreation brings there. Oh, one last question, Jen. Can we transfer a waitlist over to a new session?
Like to a new program?
Mm-hmm.
If you register them in-house, you do have the ability to change which program you're putting them into. But we do, whoever that question came from, please let us know what organization you're from. We do have a request that already came in earlier for somebody that wants to be able to copy a wait list. And this is essentially the same enhancement. We'd love to be able to do it, but the more of you that ask, the quicker I can make something like that happen. So if you tell us who you are, that's going to be the best solution.
Yep. And once again, you can do that by just emailing us at support@recdesk.com. So we always appreciate the ideas there. And then, Jen, is there a way to move somebody up on the wait list? Maybe jump them from position 5 to position 1?
Not at this time. The idea of just being able to get the approval process was more of an urgent need than the whole recategorizing the number. Seeing as how we only showed them the number on the wait list during the time period they initially clicked the button, we weren't sure whether we wanted them to know what place they held. So that is definitely a future enhancement. And if that's who I think it is, I'm pretty sure her name's already on it.
All right, that sounds good. Well, once again, thank you everybody for coming. Jen and I will continue to hang out here for a few more minutes in case anybody else has any questions. But like we said, feel free to catch this video later underneath the resources tab. If for whatever reason you cannot see that resources tab, please give us an email. We will be happy to help you out in locating that. Thank you all for attending. If you're on the East Coast, I hope the rest of your certain day goes well. For those on the West Coast, I hope you have a great rest of your day in general.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording just for everyone in the room to know if it might make noise.